The following is a demonstration on how to connect to your enterprise security through Workstation. The first step is to go to the Environments tab and right-click on your environment. Select Configure Enterprise Security from the menu, and the configuration window will appear. The configuration window shows the steps that you'll need to follow to successfully configure your enterprise security. And, as you can see here, there's a series of 5 major steps that you'll need to complete. Now, let's start from the first step. First, select your identity provider. Each identity provider has a series of provider-specific instructions to follow in steps 2 and 3. In this example, let's select Azure as the identity provider. Moving to step 2, click on View Configuration Instructions. This provides a step-by-step list of what you need to do in Azure. To get started, navigate to the Azure portal, which is linked here. It's useful to pull the Azure portal window up and put it next to the Azure instructions provided to you by MicroStrategy. Next, select New Registration. In the Register an Application screen, enter MicroStrategy as the application name. Under Supported Account Types, choose the account type that best fits your enterprise identity access management. Lastly, enter the redirect URI. Go to the Instructions pane and copy the URI that's provided in that pane. This URI is the redirect URI for Workstation, which is a native client. Therefore, the URI is the machine itself, or the local host. This is automatically generated for your specific account. Make sure that when you enter it, you select the public client/native option, and once you've completed that, click Register to confirm the changes. In the newly created registration screen, find Authentication on the left navigation. Once there, click Add URI and copy and paste the URIs listed in the instruction screen in MicroStrategy into the box that appears in the Azure portal. Make sure you do this for each of the URIs that are listed in the instruction screen. The first URI is the redirect URI used by the HyperIntelligence mobile client. The second URI is to be able to test the configuration, and this is only used during the configuration process. Again, these have been generated specifically for you and your environment. Once you've added the URIs, go to the top and click Save to save your changes. Next, find API permissions in the left navigation. Select Microsoft Graph, and then choose Delegated Permissions. So we'll navigate back to the portal, select API Permissions, select Microsoft Graph, and then click Delegated Permissions. Type directory into the permissions search window, expand it, and then select directory.read and click on the checkbox. Click Update Permissions, and you'll see the permissions that we've enabled. Our user.read permissions are already enabled, but if they weren't, we would go through the same process to add them. The next step is to find the manifest section and download the manifest from there. So we'll go to the portal, find manifest on the left-hand bar, and click Download. Next, find the Overview section and click Endpoints. So we find the Overview section in the left navigation, click Endpoints, and from there, copy the OpenID Connect metadata document field. We copy that to the clipboard with the press of the button. And with that, we've finished all the actions we need to take inside of the Azure portal. You can close out the instructions and move on to step 3 of the original instructions for the MicroStrategy configuration. Moving on to step 3 of the configuration, click Select File and select the manifest file that you downloaded from the Azure portal. Next, paste the value that you had copied in the last step of the Azure portal configuration. With step 3 complete, we can move on to step 4. In step 4, you define the user claim mapping. This will translate your manifest into objects in MicroStrategy. So the names you provide here will be the attribute names for items such as the user's names or their email. In the advanced settings, you have the ability to import users at login, which is automatically toggled on. Lastly, you can define the current user mapping. If the email that you use to register with MicroStrategy is different than your user email in your Azure directory, you can use this section to sync those two emails. If the email that you use to register with MicroStrategy is the same as your email in the Azure directory, then you can click the check mark next to my registered email is the same as my corporate email, and your email will be automatically populated. The last step is to test your configuration. Click Test Configuration, and a browser will pop up that will prompt you to enter your credentials. After going through this process, you'll be able to see whether or not your configuration was successful. Once you've confirmed it's successful, click Apply to apply this configuration to your environment. This pop-up will appear, indicating it takes a few minutes for the environment to restart, after which your environment will be connected to your enterprise security.